Do you think they do any additions via you've heard Cam Thomas with the Nets, or do they just kind of go back with what they had and think that they can make it fit a little differently?
I think, Dave, it depends on the kind of offers that they get in return for somebody like Darius Garland, like Jared Allen. If a team is out there and they're going to make the kind of offer that's going to blow the Cavs away, and it's one that, it's hard for them to turn down, then so be it. That's the way that it goes. But everything that I'm told is that the Cavs are operating as a team that's trying to enhance the roster around the core four. In conversations with Kenny Atkinson during the coaching process, James Borrego, Micah Nori, the three finalists, it was all, okay, what's your plan for the core four? What's your plan for Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell together and maximizing that backcourt? What's your plan for Jared Allen and Evan Mobley together? How do you use two non-spacers, non-shooters in the front court? Can you do that on the offensive end of the floor? So it feels like to me, and the signals that the Cavs are sending around the NBA is that they want to keep the core four in place and see if this better offensive mind in Kenny Atkinson, this guy who the organization is probably going to have more confidence in, can get more out of this group than what JB Bickerstaff got out of it, especially in a playoff environment, because that's where the shortcomings really showed up for this roster and for the combination of Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, and the combination of Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. So look, there's always an opportunity that some team is just going to make some kind of offer that you can't possibly say no to. Brooklyn was telling teams for about a year and a half, we're not trading Mikal Bridges. We're not trading Mikal Bridges. He was the centerpiece of the Kevin Durant deal. And they turned down big time offers for Mikal Bridges in the past, offers that, probably made sense for the kind of player that Mikal Bridges is. And then all of a sudden, New York comes with an offer and it blows them away. And they're like, we can't possibly say no to this thing. Look at this package. All of that for Mikal Bridges? All right, done deal. So if a team's going to do that with Jared Allen or Darius Garland, then the Cavs are going to have to listen and they're going to have to consider it. But I find it hard to believe in this current trade marketplace, Dave, that the Cavs are going to get an offer for either one of those guys that they're going to be willing to say yes to, and they're going to consider a substantial upgrade to this roster that's already in place. And that doesn't mean that they feel like this roster is flawless and there aren't holes that they need to patch, but it's all about what can you get in return, and when it comes to free agency, what's available on the marketplace.
Is there anybody that jumps out free agent wise that you think?
Oh. It's
Yeah,
Dave. It's a weak crop. I mean, we're talking about some salary cap restrictions that the Cavs have to begin with. They obviously have a decision to make when it comes to Isaac Okoro and what he's going to get. They extended a qualifying offer to him, making him a restricted free agent. But they have to be cognizant of what they spend here. So essentially, they're going into this free agency process with the mid-level exception, which is about $13 million annually. The kind of player that you can get for that price tag in this market. I mean, look at what some of these other guys are going for. So obviously the top tier of free agents are just not in their ballpark in any sort of way. They haven't been from the beginning of this free agency process. And now you're talking about tier 2 players, tier 3 players, and the guys that are realistically available to the Cavs based on what they can offer financially. None of them are needle movers. If the Cavs are going to make a significant upgrade to this roster this offseason, it's going to have to be via trade. Karis LeVert, Isaac Okoro, George Niang, something along those lines, Dean Wade, even something along those lines to enhance this roster a little bit more than what's currently and realistically available to them in free agency. Like Gary Trent Jr. is out there, and I think he's in their price range. Played for Toronto this past year, about 26 years old, can shoot, defend, more of a shooting guard than a small forward. So I don't know if it's a positional fit for them, but it's a skill set fit. Malik Beasley is somebody that they've kicked the tires on in the past. They obviously need another center because Tristan Thompson is probably not going to be back. Damian Jones is a free agent. And there's only so much you can rely on Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. So there are positions that they could fill there are some guys out there. Jetty Osman's out there if you want to go down that road in free agency. Sadiq Bey of the Atlanta Hawks, but the type of player that they can realistically attain based on what they can offer, it's just not somebody that is going to make a substantial difference to them competing with Boston, New York, Philadelphia, and the top teams in the Eastern Conference, or just not competing with those teams.